What's up, Big Blue Nation? It's your boy Bradley B-Row back in the building. And of course, each week I have a special guest on. And this week we're happy to be joined by a former basketball player. I know you guys might not know, but you're gonna know now. I have Twany Beckham on. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me, big brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I know a lot of people probably are like, "Who's Twany Beckham? Who's Twany Beckham?" So I guess just start off, man. Just kind of tell a little bit about yourself. What you've been doing right now. I know you got some books that's about to release on Amazon. So give us a quick little overview on yourself, man.
First, man, I would like to say, once again, thank you, and to thank you for everybody who's tuned in and listening. I'm from Louisville. Like I said, played at Ballard, went to prep school at the high school, earned a scholarship to go play at Mississippi State. I was there for 2.5 years. Then I had the opportunity to transfer to my dream school, Kentucky. Won a national championship with that team in 2012. My senior year got cut short early in preseason. I underwent back surgery, and that ended my career. And after my career, man, I had to totally recreate myself. I had to become somebody so I never was in life. I'm an author, motivational speaker, a health enthusiast, someone who gives back to the community, helps kids. And I do a lot. I'm now a producer. So I've had to totally recreate myself, man. But I'm happy. I love what I'm doing. I think what I'm doing is very valuable. And I just look forward to continue living a happy life.
Yeah, man, you've been really active, been out there in the community, giving back, and traveling around a little bit, from state to state. I guess start out talking about you have a book you had released before. You have on your shirt, Pressure. It's basically a full court press. What went into that, and then also you got another book coming out called Believe in Your Dreams. That this released. I guess we'll start with the first book. What came all about that? Why was it important for you to kind of write that book?
So my senior year at UK, and a lot of people didn't really notice and understand, but Coach Cal does an unbelievable job of kind of protecting us. So my senior year, once I had back surgery, a lot of fans didn't understand why I wasn't getting in the games. A lot of people didn't know because I don't think Coach Cal put it out there to the media. So my senior year, I had back surgery, and I couldn't travel, I couldn't practice, I couldn't do anything. My career was done. So I spent a lot of time, going to class, going to practice. And then at nighttime, I would start writing. I started working on my book. So I wrote and I don't think I've ever mentioned this publicly, but I wrote my first book my senior year in college. So when I graduated, my book was ready to go. And Coach Cal blessed me by writing a foreword for me. It was an incredible foreword he wrote for me. And I was so appreciative that he took the time out of his life to do that for me. And I think that just, goes to show how close that, and the relationship that he has with us. But yes, I wrote my first book, and I kind of talk about just how I grew up in Louisville, some of the things I went through, some of my great times in high school, my prep school years. Then I spoke to very in-depthly about, my time at Mississippi State, what went wrong there, some of the things that I enjoyed. And then, I couldn't leave out, talking about the run that we made in the national championship, and then just graduating. And then that's where kind of the book stops. And then Pressure, I released on my 30th birthday, which was last year. And Pressure is, I think I say this very confidently, and I really believe it, man. I think I have the best book in the world. I have the best book in the world, and I wrote the book in a great space, and I try to make it relatable to everybody. So if you pick my book up, if you're white or black, or you're an athlete or non-athlete, you're just a regular student, you're a teacher, you're a professor, you're a doctor, you're an NBA player. I try to make my book relatable to everybody because to me, everybody has something that they're going through in life. There's some type of adversity that everybody is going through, and I call adversity pressures. As you can see across my chest, pressures. Everybody's going through some type of pressure. And with writing my book, man, I had an opportunity to. What makes pressure so special is everybody in my life that I have some type of connection with, and I've had some type of pressure with. I sat down and had an interview with them, and I told my side of the story of the pressure that I faced with not only my life, but with them. But I also gave them an opportunity to speak to their pressures of how they view me and how they view the person that they're going through. So it was some tough conversations in there, man. I didn't really understand some of the pressure that people were facing. Like I had a conversation with my mom, and my mom opened up about some things that we never even talked about in life. Said, Mom, we grew up in the projects. Here's how I looked at it. Then I want to hear how you looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So my mom, broke down and said some things I never even thought she would ever say. And then my brothers, I'm like, my younger brothers, I've had the limelight all my life. All my life, I've always been the best basketball player in the city of Louisville at my age. And, my younger brother, was always in my shadows. And
Mm-hmm.
so with having the conversation with him in my book, it was like, man, how did you feel about that? And he told me some things that I was like, we kind of just cried together. I'm like, dang, man, you really felt that way?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I thought that I was bringing you along every step of the way. I didn't do nothing without you, but really you felt kind of left behind. But I would have never even knew that until the book. And I
Man.
speak to my dad. My dad was, and he wouldn't mind me sharing this, but my dad was a drug addict. And I didn't really meet my dad and really have a relationship with my dad till I got a lot of years in high school. And so here I am interviewing my dad for my book, and I said, man, like, why wasn't you there? It's a question I never asked him. Like, why wasn't you there? Why did you wait so long to come in my life? Is it because I was this type of athlete? Is it because of the path I was going on? And he sat down and he told me, man, I was, going off the whatever he was going off of, and I used to see you in the projects dribbling the ball, and I knew you was my son, but I couldn't look at you. I could not come up and talk to you because I knew being in your life would be a disservice to you.
Mm.
So it's those type of conversations that I have in this book, man. And it's 12 or 13 chapters of stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
that will blow you completely away.
Man, that's pretty deep, man, because I think, we all have questions and, in our lives when we grow up, we see things we don't really know or comprehend what's going on. But, it's good that you were able to sit down and talk to your family and kind of, let all of that out, figure it out, put it in the book and share your story. I'm going to go back to your high school days, man. Here in Louisville, man, played at Ballard, highly, talented player, man. Led your team to a couple of state championships. Like get down to the Rupp Arena, play the, Rupp Arena. I guess, just talk about your high school days. What was it like for you, playing at Ballard, and all that pressure you was going on, had, playing at Ballard?
Well, it's interesting, man, and I share this a lot. So my freshman year, I was the #1 player in the city of Louisville going into high school. In my freshman year, I didn't play 1 minute of varsity. I just was still immature. Coach wanted me to step into that role, but I wasn't ready. And a lot of people say, man, like, why didn't you start or play as a freshman? I wasn't ready. And I openly admit that to people. I wasn't ready to play. I still had a lot of stuff that I was dealing with at home, a lot of attitude problems. I was almost kicked out of Ballard. I almost messed up everything. Got an opportunity to come back and just finish JV for the season. So I go from a 6-foot freshman to a 6'5" sophomore in one summer. And started Ballard as a sophomore, and the rest is history, man. Won a lot of games, didn't lose many games at all. Dominated, first team All State, 7th Region Player of the Year.
Yep.
I was talking to my high school coach last week on the conference call. I've had 2 triple doubles, 31, 11, and 11 game, and then 11, 10, and 10 game in 15 minutes. So I did everything. I was a point guard. I could play the center. We pressed. I mean, I literally did everything. And then we made it to state my sophomore year, and we lost in a buzzer beater to PRP. And then we made it my senior year. We only lost 1 game to one team. We lost to one team in the state of Kentucky, and they beat us twice, which is Scott County with Bud Mackey.
Yeah, that's some tough teams, man. I remember you being in high school. You know what I'm saying? I'm an older guy, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to show my age. But I remember watching you play out. You were highly talented. And when you got done, you were kind of figuring out where you want to go to school. I think you committed to IUPUI. And then you decided to go to Mississippi State. What was that process like for you? Why did you switch and decided you want to go to Mississippi State?
So I was always, people that was in my corner was always telling me, like, man, you have the talent to be a pro. You need to go somewhere you're going to be on the floor. You need to go somewhere where the coaches really love you, they really care for you, and they're going to help you develop. So when I went to my visit to IUPUI, they had a guy named George Hill who was going to be drafted. He told me on my visit, listen, I'm going to be drafted this year. I know you want to play higher. Come here. The scouts are going to be here. You're going to play point. I move over to the 2, and they're going to look at you as well. So I'm like, wow, I got a guy. You know what I'm saying? So I committed. I'm going to IUPUI. And then as soon as I committed, man, everybody in my corner just was like, nah, you're bigger than that. And so I started second guessing my decision. It was right before the season started in high school. I was stressed out, and I didn't want to play my senior year feeling that way. So I decommitted and then decided to look at prep school options, and then had an opportunity to go play up in the New England NEPSAC League, and completely put me on a different level. Man, I go from, playing in Kentucky to getting small and mid-major looks to 1 year in prep school, everything was high major.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just literally, I had the same game. I worked on my game a little bit, but it was just, being in a different state, playing with a team full of Division I players. Every team we played against every night had Division I players, and I stepped up to the challenge, and I started to garner attention from all high majors. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, man. I mean, you see guys now go to these prep schools, and a guy like D'Angelo Russell and all these other guys from Kentucky, they go to these prep schools and get some notoriety. You know what I mean? Play against the high quality, and that's really good. And then once you got to Mississippi State, you played for Rick Stansbury, who another Kentucky guy. I think I was watching the other day. They had the 2010 Kentucky Mississippi State game on. Saw you on the sidelines.
Is that the one where Boogie?
That's so. Yeah, you almost had him. You almost had him.
We had Kentucky beat twice that year at Mississippi State. See, that's the year that I had double hip surgery, so I missed the entire season. But we had them beat up 13 in the second half, and Kentucky climbed back and won.
Yep.
And then we had them beat. All we had to do was box out, get a rebound, win the game.
Yeah, I watched the game. I thought, man, Kentucky's gonna lose this game, and once your shot blocker went out, or was it Ronaldo? He went out, and yep. And so you guys had a good team. What was it like for playing for Coach Rick Stansbury? He's a tough guy. Very stern, defensively type guy. What was it like playing for him when you were there?
It was cool playing for Coach Stansbury. You know me, I was just really excited just to be playing at that level. I'm in the SEC. It was always like, so I wanted to always play Kentucky, but playing in the SEC was like a dream of mine. I know people sometimes don't grow up to dream of playing in a certain league, but I always told myself, and there's pictures of when I got to prep school, me and my roommate was a high level college football player. And so we put on our doors, our prep doors, we want to play in the SEC. And it's crazy. He goes to sign with South Carolina, and I signed with Mississippi State. But Coach Stansbury, it was, man, he, like you said, he was a tough-nosed, didn't take much from you type of coach. And I love that. I'm a tough-nosed guy as well. And so we got along. The only thing that I'll say I disliked about Mississippi State was, they brought in 2 point guards. And, me and D. Boss, it was a battle for the 2 years I was there. We didn't really get along much. We battled every single day. I mean, we fought before. We just didn't get along. And so, but now it's like funny because every time I talk to D, I'm always like, man, thank you, bro. You pushed me. You pushed me to be as tough as I am now. D was probably one of the better point guards I ever played with in my life. The dude was tough.
He was. Yeah, he gave Kentucky problems.
Yeah, he was tough, man. He was tough, man. So, I kind of try to take some positive from the situation that, I went to a situation where, they bring in 2 point guards and I got the short end of the stick. But on the flip side, it made me a better person. I had to grind every single day. I couldn't take no days off. I had to work because D brought it every single day.
Yeah.
But my freshman year, we won, SEC championship down in Tampa.
Yep.
And then we also came back that year to Kentucky and beat Kentucky at Rupp. So, so I had a good time there, man. It was great.
That's good. And I know that, things didn't work out there for you. You like you said, you had a hip surgery because you had some bone spurs, and then you didn't get much playing time. So then you flipped the script and went to Kentucky. You transferred to Kentucky, in the fall season. What led to that? Who'd you talk to? How did that come about? Because, you were at Mississippi State and all of a sudden, boom, you're out of Kentucky.
So I decided to transfer. I was actually starting. I was the starting point guard. I was a third-year sophomore. I was starting point guard for Mississippi State that year because D had put his name in the draft. So I was starting, but I just didn't like the feel for how the team was going. That we had just had a fight in Hawaii that made national news. So our team was kind of in turmoil. So I just wanted to transfer. My initial thoughts was I wanted to go mid-major or low major, get on the floor, play 30 minutes somewhere, and, try to make my name that way. But I had an opportunity. I got a phone call. Somebody was like, hey, man, do you want to meet with Coach Cal? I'm like, stop playing. and Coach Stansbury, when I transferred, he didn't put a block on my transfer to where I can go to any school in the country. I'm sure had I would have told him that Kentucky was an option, it might not have happened. So, leaving the office with him was like, good luck, best wishes. And I told him, like, Coach, I want to go low major, mid major, and so I can get on the floor for 30 minutes. Kentucky was never, when I decided to transfer, Kentucky was never, didn't even come across my mind. And then somebody called me one day and said, hey, man, do you want to go meet with Coach Cal? And I'm like, stop playing, man. Twany, this is serious. Do you want to meet with Coach Cal? I'm like, man, listen, I take the meeting like, yes, just tell me what it is. So I drive up to Lexington, and the interesting thing about this, I don't think it was school started in like 3 days, so I didn't have a lot of time. So I drove up to Lexington. I met with Coach, and I just, I was kind of shocking to even Coach coming to meet. I'm sitting across the table, and I'm like trying to hide, like I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm excited. This is Coach Cal. You know what I mean? Like even when I was at Mississippi State, I didn't miss a Kentucky game. I always been a Kentucky fan my whole life. I did not miss a Kentucky game. So, I've been the dorm with my teammates, and we got Kentucky on. And we watching Kentucky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Coach Cal come in, man. He basically looks me in the face and say, "Look, man, I'm not gonna guarantee you anything. You might come here, you might not ever play. You might not ever get on the floor for me. But we got a spot for you." And I about fell over.
That's crazy. I can only imagine, like you said, growing up in Kentucky, even though you're in Louisville, but like you said, you watch the games when you're at Mississippi State, and then you had the head coach say, "Hey, look, I got a spot for you." I would have felt the same way. I would have lowered you like, what? That's crazy.
Everybody in my corner told me not to go. Everybody in my corner, yeah, because I'm coming out of a situation at Mississippi State where I wasn't playing. I was playing 12, 13 minutes a game, plugging in for D. And so everybody in my corner, because I'm a 6'5" point guard, man, I can really pass the ball. So the talent was there. I just had to get on the floor.
Right.
And so everybody in my corner that I was calling to get advice from, like, yo, Kentucky, Twany, don't go. Do not go there. You're not going to play. He bringing Mickey D's every year. Like, why are you going there? But I looked at it, man, and to be honest with you, I looked at it completely different. I knew the backlash I would take coming home and not playing or not even getting the opportunity to play. I knew what that would do, what it could do for my ego. But then I also understood that, listen, man, if I come here and I graduate and I meet someone and I play with these incredible players, get in this network, what it could do for me down the road. I had hip surgery. Like, I wasn't going to pass no professional test. You know what I mean? So I wasn't openly telling people that, but that's what my thoughts were. You know what I mean? If I go to some type of NBA combine, I'm not passing it. I have bad hips.
Yeah.
So I had to think outside the box, man, with that decision. And it was one that I would never regret. Had the time of my life.
Yeah, no, and you were on there. I know you obviously was on the national championship team with AD, Michael the Kid Gilchrist, D. Miller.
Nice, man.
I remember coming to a couple of the practices and watching them, but you were there every day, man. And I know that you weren't able to play, and you had some injuries, but you contributed a lot. Just talk about those practices, man. What was it like that year, man, to have that run with that national championship team?
Man, time of my life, man. I don't think you will ever meet another team. And the thing was so crazy, social media wasn't prevalent then.
Right.
Like some behind the scenes and that they show now that you all get now, if you all could have got that in 2012, man, I'm telling you, it would have been like some documentary type stuff. Like practices every day was a war. I was a person that was perfect for that type of situation because of the toughness and energy and shit talking that I brought to the table every single day. So yes, I wasn't the guy that was getting 15 to 25 minutes on the floor, but you was getting the 25 to 30 minutes that I would give on a game night in practice. It was only my only outlet to bring that type of energy. You know what I mean? And, but I was still vying for playing time. It just was hard. But that year, man, you had Anthony Day, and then that year was the lockout year. So summertime, you had LeBron, Rajon Rondo, DeMarcus Cousins, Eric Bledsoe, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Kevin Durant.
Yep.
We're playing against those guys that summer. And so you just sit back and say, yo, we have something special here, man. Like, guys like Anthony and Michael and Terrence, they on the floor looking like NBA players.
Yep.
So I knew if we put it together, like, who's going to be able to beat us? Nobody. We shouldn't have lost that year at all, really.
No, you shouldn't have. And I feel like, even that year, whenever you guys went on that run and then you went to Indiana and then you lost to Indiana, and it was almost like a reset. But like after that, y'all just pretty much ran the table until you got the Vandy in the SEC tournament. But
and we gave the Vandy game away up 6 with 2 minutes to go, and we gave the Vandy game away, gave it away. But I know a lot of people have that notion that you have to lose a game before the tournament. I wouldn't want to lose, but I think, like you said, I think it gave us another reset button because that next week of practice was hell. Yeah, hell. Going into the NCAA tournament, the next week of practice was hell.
Yeah,
you don't lose playing for Coach Cal. You do not. That's the last thing you want to do is lose a game.
Yeah, no, I can believe it. Cal, he hates to lose. I know his mentality, and he's definitely always trying to get you guys ready. I guess for yourself, man, like what are you doing now? I know we talked earlier about your books and stuff, but like what do you have coming up? Do you have anything that you want to kind of plug right now and kind of say, hey, look, I got this coming up?
Yeah, so I just dropped my new book, man. Believe in Your Dreams. Believe in Your Dreams. It's a children's book. You know, I do a lot of stuff with kids, man. It's a children's book, all Black characters. Thought right now would be the perfect time to drop it. Just give some inspiration to the kids, man. Somebody like myself that was always a great player, but always doubted if I could get to that type of level, NBA level. People never thought, you know, I didn't shoot it as well, or I didn't do this as well as other people. So, you know, how I made it is I've always believed in myself, and I believed in what I was going for. So I kind of write a book about, you know, trying to tell kids to do that. No matter what it is you're going for, basketball, football, nurse, doctor, whatever it is, whatever it is you want to be, you just got to believe in your dreams, man. Believe in yourself every single day. I have, like I said, Pressure. My book Pressures is still hot. It's still hot, man. Like I told you, man, when we first started, man, I have the best book in the world, best book in the country. It's on Amazon. It's at twanyBeckham.com. So if you have an opportunity, go grab that. My first book, Full Court Press, is still available as well on Amazon. So go grab that. I'm also, I feel like I'm climbing the ranks as a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
I'm climbing the ranks. I started out, man. It's funny you say that. I started out when I graduated from UK, man, speaking in small groups, 5, 10 people. Didn't know what I was doing, just going and just talking. Until now, man, I get booked to speak at conferences. Keynote speak. I'm the keynote speaker for yeah. Yeah, I'm the keynote speaker, man. So, you know, it's just kind of watch my life go from devastation to now that I'm really enjoying, loving doing what I'm doing. And I tell a lot of athletes this, and when I talk to them, is the transition is really tough. Trying to find something that you put 100% of your passion into, that you put like you put it into basketball, is tough. So when you as you're playing, start to think about something else that you like, or something else that you wouldn't mind putting your passion into. Because if you don't, and when the ball stops, you are going to struggle. You're going to go through that phase where it's going to be tough for you. So luckily, man, you know, it's easy for me to say it now, but you know, I was able to kind of shift my thinking in my mind at a young age of 25, and not in my 30s. So like I'm continue to climb the ranks as a speaker. I am producing a show called Behind the Life. The first episode is scheduled to come out next Friday. I went back to my neighborhood, man, and every one of my close friends that I grew up with, besides the ones who are dead or in jail, are in the video. You know, and I allowed them, man, to kind of share their truth, share their stories, and how they feel about where we come from, about me. It's gonna be special, man. I'm setting to release it next Friday.
Okay.
So I got a chance to produce, and this whole space, man, producing, writing is my thing, man. I found something I love, man. But yeah, that's about it, man. And you and I can talk offline, but after this call about my next endeavor, and it's gonna be special.
Hey, man, I always love your energy you always bring, man. You're always passionate about stuff, you know, and that's good. I like that, you know, you talk about, because so many athletes do go through life, and especially when you're playing, you don't think about what happens after the ball bounces, or, you know, and those type of things. And you kind of thought about that. And so that's good. I'm glad that you're starting to do something you love. I can't wait to see this thing you were talking about, you know, your little producing your little movie trailer, little documentary. I can't wait to see that. I know it's gonna be really good. I want to say, hey, man, thank you for taking some time with me. It's always good to catch up with you, Twany. Anytime you need something, you can always holler at me. You know, I got you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yep.
And I just want to share one thing with the world, man. Listen, continue when every single day you wake up, man. Enjoy your life. Don't ever let nobody steal your joy. Don't let nobody steal your happiness or take the smile off your face. If you're struggling with something, pray about it. Take care of your body. Eat healthy. And listen, I'm telling you, you'll live a good life. And the number one thing is, if you can't take care of yourself, if you can't take care of your health, then you can't take care of nothing else in your life.